Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. and I'm here today to bring the review for My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 8, The End of Battle 3. And now I'm going to start off right away. I was talking about the Idol Speed Blitz bit. I noticed that the animation there was different, and that's essentially what I've got to say about it. It was different. I wouldn't say it was better, I wouldn't say it was lesser than the rest of the episode, just different. I know, and get me, it's noticeable. They tried a thing. Does it really work? No. I feel like there could have been ways to make it seem like Idol was moving so fast, because that's essentially what I think they were going for. So they tried to make it seem like Ida was moving really fast, and at the end of the day, I just wasn't feeling it 100%. I recognized the attempt, but was not feeling it. So when we go into Shoto versus Tetsu now, at the end of the damn day, their battle just came down to a battle of endurance. Who could endure the pain or the heat, so to say, for the longest, and we saw how that played out. MVP for the battle was most definitely Ida. He does not doubt himself, he does not stall, pun intended. No, I'm joking, pun unintended. He does not stall, but he does everything he does within this episode is just boom, 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 no hesitation. He's on point, MVP. And at the end of the episode, he does downplay himself. He does doubt. He does say, oh my gosh, I should have done more. But I think that's rightly so the right mentality to have. If you come out of something, that's not a W. So obviously they drew within this episode. He did not win. So obviously he's going to have some self-doubts within himself. So I think that's normal behavior to have. But I still think at the end of the damn day, he was the MVP. He did the most within this episode. He secured the capture for his team within this episode. When it came to what to do, when it came to Shoto, he did not doubt himself. He knew what he wanted to do. He was just on it, and he's just out of there ASAP. Unfortunately, he couldn't get away due to the last minute motivations of Mudman, but like I've been saying, he did what he had to do. He did the right thing at the right times, always, without a doubt, within this battle. Mudman did his thing. He was more of a not a hot point. He seemed more impressive within the last episode, where within this episode, it was more so, it seemed like he was running away for the majority of the time. Obviously, like I said, he had that last minute motivation at the end of the episode, but similar to Ida, he was always doing what he thought was best for his team at the time. So you gotta give him a round of applause for that. But I think the most impressive person in no, okay, that's a lie. I gotta give props. I'm not gonna say she's the most impressive person. It could be argued, since I just literally changed my mind. But you gotta give props for the little girl for in this episode, because when it seemed like the chips were down and it seemed like all was lost, and she did what she could do. She knew at the end. She knew it was unlikely that they would come out with the win. But she did what she could do, and it was thanks to her efforts she secured her team, and I guess Class A as well, with a draw. So you got to give her props for that. Was she the MVP for her team? Up to you for that one, but she's definitely top 2 in that team, without a doubt, no doubt. So she secured them the draw, and at the end of the day, everybody's just reflecting on what they did wrong, how they can improve, etc. One thing I forgot to mention is that I liked what the little girl did within this episode, because I've been saying it for a while now. At the end of the day, they're all gunning to be heroes. Heroes are essentially leaders, so they need to be able to plan and see what they need to do in certain situations, and everyone, if not the majority of the two teams within this episode showed that they can do that to some degree, even though they're only in year 1. You know, they have 3 years to learn this stuff, but they seem to be doing it pretty damn well only within year 1. So that's a plus to everybody, basically. So as they're all reflecting on the battle that they just had, we do get a little bit of character improvement, development for Shoto, because he has realized that, out of habit, he always starts with his ice, and we know where this starting of the ice stems from, and he realized that maybe if he had started with the fire within this episode, things could have been different. And I mentioned already that how Ida was down on himself as well, but that I reckon that's simply become because of the draw, and it would have been the same thing if they lost. He's only doing these things because of that, and if they had won, he'd been happy with his performance, because like I said, he did perform well. He did perform the best out of both teams, in my personal opinion. So after that, we find out that, what's his name? But you know who I'm talking about anyway. He's excited for Battle 4, and so is Bakugo as well, and so am I to see it animated, because Battle 4 is probably the best battle of this whole arc. So I can't wait to see that episode animated. Roll on next week. I'm expecting the animation to be on 100 for the entirety of the episode. Because in all honesty, I feel like they should have and could have done something with the Shoto and Tetsu stuff within this episode, animation wise, upped it there. I feel like that should have been up, but for the next battle 4, everything needs to be upped. I wouldn't mind if they delayed the episode for a month to make this happen as well. So, yeah, I'm gonna say that. One thing I do want to add to this review, and it's more of a question really. We are basically told why they lost Class A, because Shoto never started off with the fire. And now I mentioned previously about how it was okay in a sense for Momo's team to be the Class A team that lost, because they had the least popular characters within it, at least for me anyway, and probably for the majority. But with Shoto being on a drawing team, which is pretty close to a loss, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like they done Shoto dirty, or are you okay with it? Because I personally feel like they did him dirty. Yeah, he didn't lose, but they still did him dirty. They could have done him dirty or made him lose, but it's still a bit of dirt on Shoto's name, because at the end of the day, when it came to the sports festival, Shoto was on top of it. He was no one was a problem for him. And I know some time has passed. Everybody's proved since then, but I still feel like there's a bit of dirt on Shoto's name because of the draw. But I really want to know how you guys feel about that. But I do believe that this episode deserves a 4. Like always, guys, 4-star rating. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.